I'm Jacqui and welcome to the Larder initiative, Kids in the Kitchen. This is where we're going to be making tasty, affordable, healthy food. Yes, vegetables will play a big part, but trust me, it's all going to taste great. Now, a few things before we get started, and today's recipe is scone-based pizza. Please take a few minutes to read your recipe carefully, and if you're cooking with your brothers or sisters, make sure you decide in advance who's going to cook what, and also please have an adult with you as well. If you've got long hair, tie it back. If you've got any cuts or grazes, please cover them with a clean plaster. And remember, if you're going to sneeze or cough, move away from your food and wash your hands afterwards. Okay, let's get going. First thing, everybody wash their hands and remember the 20-second rule. Here's the ingredients that we're going to be using today. For the base, if you're using plain flour, as it says on your recipe, you'll need baking powder as well. Or if you're using self-raising flour, you won't need the baking powder. We're going to need some butter or margarine, some milk, a little bit of salt, some dried herbs, and then can be tomato puree, or I'm going to show you how to make a really easy tomato sauce. Here are the toppings that I'm going to be using today. What we've got here is a rainbow of veg. So this is what you want to try and aim for. You don't have to use the things that I'm using, but this might give you some inspiration. But what you want is a rainbow of veg, which will give you plenty of vitamins and nutrients. I've chosen sweet corn, tomato, purple onion, but you can use ordinary onion, some mushrooms, broccoli. I know not everyone's a fan. You could even use garden peas if you wanted to, or any veg out the freezer. And then red pepper as well, but any pepper, any colour will be great, but that does give you a nice crunchiness. And then of course, lots of cheese. Here's the equipment that we're going to be using, and you don't need any measuring scales, just a cup will be fine. We'll need our rolling pin and we'll need our mixing bowl, and I always keep an extra bowl handy for the bits of veg that won't be going into the toppings, so that's just a little tip for you. We'll need a good sharp knife. A sharp knife is safer than a blunt knife, so maybe you could get a grown-up to make sure that your knife is sharp. A chopping board as well, and then for your pizza base, either just a baking sheet or a traditional pizza tin, either one. If you don't have either of these, you could even use a flat base Pyrex casserole dish. Anything that's flat is absolutely fine. So before we start chopping, we're going to make the tomato base. For the tomato base, we simply heat up some oil in the pan, add onion, and if you've got it, some garlic as well. Get that going, and then add a tin of tomatoes. Let that simmer. Don't put a lid on because you want it to reduce down so it's nice and thick for the pizza base. Measure out your flour in your cup, adding it to the cup, and then tip that into your mixing bowl. Baking powder, 2 teaspoons. A little bit of salt, and then you want to add your butter or your margarine, 50 grams, so that's going to look like about 3 tablespoons of butter right there. And then that's all ready to go to start mixing. You want to knead your flour, your baking powder, your salt and your butter together until you've got a consistency like breadcrumbs. Okay, that is looking nice and breadcrumby. Now you need your milk to bind it all together. Add it slowly, about 3 tablespoons of milk. Let's give that a go. Okay, we're there. So once you've got your dough, put some flour on your surface so that it doesn't stick, and just give it another knead to get it into a nice bowl. You're ready to go. Let's get rolling. You want to roll your dough to the shape and the size of the pizza pan that you're going to be using, and press down quite firmly so that you get a nice, even, thin crust that'll be crispy. Okay, my pizza dough is ready to go on the tray. It's a little bit delicate, so we have to move quite fast. There we go. You can just fold it over so that you have a nice thick crust pizza and none of it goes to waste. So just tidy up your edges around the tray. Okay, so here's your pizza base ready to go, and it's a good thing to take a minute now to wash your hands and just clear your space so that we can get on with the toppings. Before you start chopping, heat your oven to 200 or gas mark 7. To prepare our toppings, we are going to be using a knife today. You can go on the Larder YouTube and have a look at the video that shows you safe knife handling skills, and I'm going to demonstrate for you here as well. So we'll start with the onion. As I said earlier, make sure that your knife is sharp. A sharp knife is much safer than a blunt knife. Keeping your fingers out the way, using a bridge technique. Cut down into your onion, and I always like to just get rid of the waste and another thing, and then you can put your onion on its side and it's not really going to move about. Cut the onion in half using the bridge technique and cut down. Just take your time, there's no hurry here. And there you are, your fingers are safely out the way. We'll just need half an onion today. So this is the claw. This keeps your fingers out the way. Your onion is nice and secure on the chopping board. And again, just taking your time, let's just slice through. And as you slice through, just keep putting your fingers back in the claw position. And there you go, there's your onion chopped. And let's go for some nice, crunchy red pepper. If you lay it flat, it's not going to move around, and again, keep your fingers out the way. Nice chunky slices of your red pepper. So good job on the safe chopping. Here's some that I've chopped up before. So here's the toppings ready to go on our pizza. You can use the tomato puree if you like. You just squidge it on. But I'm going to use the tomato sauce that we made earlier. So that's all nice and thick and tasty and reduced down now. So let's just spoon it on and spread it over our pizza base. That's going to make it tasty, and it's going to help all of our other lovely veg to stick and cook all together on the pizza. Okay, we're ready to start building our pizza. It doesn't matter what order the veg go on the pizza, just pile it on. You can't have too much. You can make patterns, or you can just bung it all on. It's all going to taste great. I like to have a little bit of onion on top that goes crispy. And let's not forget our greens, a little bit of broccoli. For taste, let's sprinkle some mixed herbs on top. And then everybody's favourite, some grated cheese. It's much better to use grated cheese than sliced because it cooks more evenly and it melts through the vegetables. So here we go, scone based pizza ready to go in the oven. While that's cooking, decide who's going to do the cleaning up. Everyone gets to do something so that it goes quickly and the kitchen gets nice and clean by everybody. See you in a few minutes. Looks yummy. Don't forget to send us pictures or video clips when you make your own pizza. And tomorrow Kay is going to be showing us how to make a scrumptious curry. See you then. Bye for now.